Society tells you that being self-obsessed is a bad thing, that it's selfish, narcissistic, and even toxic. But here's the truth. Self-obsession is the secret to winning in life. I've built a 9-figure company from nothing, married the man of my dreams, and am living my dream life. And I can tell you, every major win in my life came from being relentlessly self-obsessed. I was obsessed with my growth, obsessed with my goals and my future. And that obsession is what got me here. So here are the 5 principles of self-obsession that will change how you think about achieving your goals and completely transform your life. But first, let's define what self-obsession actually is, because most people get this completely wrong. According to Merriam-Webster, obsession is a persistent, disturbing preoccupation with an often unreasonable idea or feeling. And I freaking love this definition because disturbing means to worry. So a persistent worry, a preoccupation with an often unreasonable idea or feeling. That is exactly what you should have as it relates to success. It should be, from most people's standpoint, unreasonable that you are successful, but that doesn't mean that you have to be reasonable with your lack of success. So having this obsession is not a bad thing. And despite what society makes us believe, there is nothing wrong with being unreasonably preoccupied with your own goals, with your own successes, because obsession is actually at the core of someone's ability to create something. If more people were obsessed, they wouldn't just forget that they have goals. Like, if you didn't forget that you were obsessed with getting a 6-pack, you wouldn't start eating candy and be like, oh shoot, I forgot about my 6-pack goals. So often people just go through the motions every single day, day in, day out, and they forget who they want to become because they're not obsessed. Whereas having this obsession to be successful, to have the life that you want, creates the drive that is constant because no one else is going to do it for you. And another definition that I love is an intense, persistent focus or fixation on a person, idea, or a goal that dominates your thoughts and actions. Sign me up for that. The version of you that you want to become should dominate your thoughts and your actions, because if it doesn't dominate your thoughts and actions, what does? Outside influences, people telling you what they want, society telling you who you should be, what you shouldn't do, instead of you having your own obsession about what success looks like for you. Self-obsession has nothing to do with being selfish. It is about being focused on your own evolution so that you can actually have everything that you want. The world needs more people who are obsessed with their own growth, not less people. So to help you do that, let's dive into principle number 1. The first principle is one that gives you permission to be self-obsessed. You can't pour into others if you have nothing to give. I was talking to my team just this week about this, and I realized how useless I am to them without my ability to go out and achieve my goals. Because just this week, I was able to approve 2 sponsorships for 2 entirely different companies that team members had asked for donations to. Without even thinking about it, I approved them because I have been able to create so much abundance and so much surplus that I'm in a position to give to others who are in need. If I weren't self-obsessed to the point of getting that much abundance for myself, I wouldn't have anything that I could give to others. Nobody asks a broke person to give to their charity. Why? The broke person cannot afford to give to the charity. So people who support charities are people who were able to create enough in excess of what they needed. They were self-obsessed enough in order to be in a position to give. That is how nonprofits are funded. When I was in college in Portland, Oregon, I was studying social justice, and I became overwhelmed with how many problems there were in the world and just wanted to do anything that I could to contribute to those problems. So my solution for this at the time was to go into downtown Portland and to talk to homeless people and to feed homeless people. And I did this for an entire summer until somebody who is now very close to me said, what if you could make a larger impact? Instead of just helping people one by one, you come from a place where you can fund these projects to help thousands of people at a time. I was like, well, how would I go about doing that? At which point I was shown an entire process of how you raise money and how you create charities in a different light than traditional businesses do, which is you have enough money inside your business to have a portion of that money go to causes that you care about. You see, I would have likely spent the rest of my life just doing hand-to-hand combat, one-to-one, with making the homeless people that I was talking to feel better. but they only feel better for a moment. Am I really able to change their life just through a conversation? Probably not. Could I change their lives through actually structurally giving them opportunities, from housing to skills to benefits to funding real problems that they have? Certainly. Yes, being obsessed might sound selfish at first, but it's only selfish if you don't eventually convert it to helping others, which is your responsibility to do once you figured out this obsession for yourself. If everybody was just a little bit more obsessed with their own lives and making them better and being an example for others, the world would be a better place. It would raise the bar and the expectations for everybody. Principle number 2, the obsessed don't need motivation. I don't feel like I need outside motivation at all to get what I want. My own goals, my dreams, my ideas of what I want my future to look like are motivating enough. Being able to raise money, investing in businesses, helping people feel like they can be more confident just through my presence and my experience and by being an example to them, that's what actually drives me. I have this vision of what I want to achieve and who I want to become. And it's this vision of achieving my own goals and dreams and becoming the best version of myself that creates the plan for me. It is what drives everything that I do. Most people are just waiting for motivation from podcasts, books, or someone else to light a fire in them. The obsessed don't need that. They already have the fire because they know what they want. They have a vision so strong that they can't actually ignore it. They're obsessed. I used to look for motivation in the craziest of places: movies about sports figures. And there was this one movie that I would watch over and over again about this gymnast who was gonna do all of these crazy wild things and jump in an ice bucket and have all of this discipline in her life. And I used to think that somehow that was going to translate, aka me wasting time watching 2 hours worth of a movie, into real results in my life. But it never did. The motivation never transferred. But I watched this movie dozens and dozens of times, thinking that it was gonna give me the motivation that I needed to go have a great life. It doesn't work like that. And if you want to have unshakable motivation, you actually have to build a vision of who you want to become, not what somebody else is or what they've done. You have to choose the right goals for you, the goals that get you excited and ready to take the steps that are required for you to become the best version of yourself. My favorite way of doing this is by going through an activity called Mission, Vision, and Core Values. And if you want the template that I use in order to get laser focused on who I'm becoming, find me on Instagram at Natalie Dawson and message me vision and I will send it right over. Once you have this, give yourself permission to become so obsessed with this future version of you that it drives you every single day. The next principle is something most people get wrong. Obsession is how you earn confidence. Most people have the roadmap to gaining confidence backwards. They think that other people are confident, and that is what allows them to do the things that they can't currently do. And so they think that if they had this opportunity, they would all of a sudden become confident. And it just doesn't work like that. In order to become confident, you have to decide what you want and recognize that building confidence comes from showing up in those moments that are so uncomfortable and doing it despite the way that you feel. I always wanted to be able to speak on stage. I imagined myself in my 30s being able to talk with grace and poise and with great points, maybe a little bit of humor on a large stage, but my current state was somebody who didn't know what they would even talk about if they were given that opportunity, was terrified of being seen on a stage because what would people think about me? What if I said something dumb? What if I completely lost what I was going to say and then I just stand there all by myself in embarrassment? I had all of these irrational fears around publicly speaking. But when I decided that I was going to become the person who had the skills and the confidence to speak on any stage at any point in time without a moment's notice, I had to start putting the reps in now. And what that looked like was showing up in really small rooms, and every time I was about to go on stage on a panel or in some conference room for a meeting, I would get nervous and I would instantly try to cancel. In my mind, I would work up all of these reasons why I didn't want to do it, why it didn't matter that much, and I would actually reduce how important the goal was and make this step seem unimportant to me getting to the goal. Those steps are the goal. Those are the moments that you have to lean into, say yes to, and continue to follow through with. Because if you let yourself down in those moments, you will never be ready for the big moments. There was one particular time before I had ever spoken in front of a group larger than 50 people where I was given the opportunity to walk on stage and be a panelist in front of 3,000 people. And it was last minute. I wasn't prepared for it. And when I got the text to be invited to do this, my first response was no. Luckily, I didn't actually text no back. But as I looked at this text, I was like, I can't do this. I'm not ready to do this. What would I say? I don't look good enough. I'm not smart enough yet. I don't have the stats yet. I went through all of this. And for 5 minutes, I didn't respond. And finally, after doing this whole thing in my head, I just sent the word back, yes. And I walked on stage and I did what I was supposed to do. Now, was it the most amazing presentation that I ever did? Absolutely not. But it built confidence. So if you want real confidence, get obsessed. Put the reps in. Say yes to the opportunities that feel small and like they aren't important. That's how you earn stats, which stacks wins. And that's how you build unshakable self-belief. Next up is number 4. Self-obsession builds immunity to the noise. I recently started doing this, where I've cut out social media almost entirely. There'll be like 5 minutes a day where I'll go on social media just to check messages. But I had to take a step back to realize how much of an influence social media was having on me. And why I was thinking about this is I have this stack of books, there's 3 of them, that I've put off reading now for over a month. And that's not usually like me. I'm normally interested in learning new things, and I don't waste a bunch of time watching television or social media. But more recently, I've just not done the things that I know I should be doing in order to move myself ahead. So I really asked myself, what does social media give me that if I had to give it up would feel like some sort of loss? And it was like staying on top of trends or being in the know about certain things going on in the world or what new lip gloss was about to drop that I absolutely wanted to buy. And I thought, how silly is that? Like, if I want to buy a lip gloss because I need a lip gloss, I could go do that. If I want to be on top of some trend, well, that seems silly because I actually know what my style is and what I like to buy. So why do I need somebody else telling me those things? And to be caught up in anybody's life affairs, especially strangers, seems ridiculous because my own life is interesting, as is yours. So I literally just stopped checking all of my socials. And it has been a fantastic break because I'm not influenced by anybody else's thoughts or priorities outside of my own. The internet is a funny thing because it can distract you and get you connected to this world that doesn't actually exist around you. When I go from my house in the morning to my office, there's nothing besides me being in the car, but the internet introduces all sorts of interesting ideas, interesting thoughts, and of course, the internet, I think, is amazing. I wouldn't be able to talk to you like I am right now if it wasn't for the internet. But the internet can also just be this rabbit hole of information and things that are not important to you, and in worst case, a complete garbage dump of terrible information that is inundating you constantly. And so if you are really in a place where you're trying to be obsessed with the future that you want to build, shutting down this external world that doesn't exist in your reality every single day, that doesn't actually have to have any impact on how you show up physically in your space, at your work, with your family, in your home, at a restaurant, it can actually transform your life. And when you shut off that noise, you amplify what you actually want. You get to spend more time with your own thoughts, getting clear on where you want to go and what you see as an opportunity and how you can assess what you're doing that's working for you in your life right now versus what you're doing that isn't working at all because you don't have this noise that's distracting you. And when you're self-obsessed, you don't need external validation or external direction. You already know what you're building. You just need to protect your focus. Principle number 5. Self-obsession is just extreme clarity. My dad is a doctor, and growing up, he would tell me about medical school. And to be honest with you, the thought of having to go to medical school terrified me when I was a kid because he would tell me all of these gory stories about cadavers and, weird things that doctors have to get trained on in order to be doctors. But one thing that he told me that I never forgot is when one of his medical residents would say, "I want to be a left ear surgeon." He said that person always became a left ear surgeon. And now he was trying to make a particular point, which was if you are clear with where you are going, you will end up getting there. The people who are clear that they want to be a veterinarian, guess what they become when they grow up? A veterinarian. If you say that you want to have $1 million business, guess what you're going to do? You're going to create the conditions in your life to have $1 million business. When you're clear on the things that you want in life, you are able to then do what you need to in order to get there. But if you never know what you want and you're always distracted by outside influences, or maybe I'm going to dabble in this, maybe I'm going to be interested in that, and all of your interests are totally dispersed, you're never going to get results. When you do have clarity, you're able to be ruthlessly honest with yourself about what you're doing that's stopping you from achieving your goals. I find that people who have lots of different interests as people who just don't want to be held accountable. Because if I'm popping around to different things, it's easy to say, oh, that's why I don't have results, because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do that, versus going all in on the thing, taking the thing incredibly serious and saying, this is who I'm going to become. Because when you have that burn the boats moment, you don't have a secondary backup plan. There's no additional option. You have to become that thing. And the more you're able to publicize and tell the world that this is who you're going to be and this is what your goals are, you pull in people who will support you getting there, and you will naturally rid yourself of people who are going to be distractions. The challenge is most people are distractions. They don't know what they want to be. They don't have clear goals. And so oftentimes people just fall into this mushy middle. So stop letting other people's priorities scatter your focus. Get ruthlessly clear on what you need to do, and only you can decide what those priorities are. If you apply these 5 principles, you will stop apologizing for being focused on yourself and start winning in life. And if you also want to learn more about being successful like the top 1%, watch this video next.